one of the deals that was supposed to happen was Za'Darius Smith going back home to the Baltimore Ravens. It was supposed to be a 4-year contract. But wait, there is more. As Za'Darius Smith is not signing with the Ravens. He remains a free agent. According to what I've known, the Cowboys are making a big push for him to go be a Cowboy. That could happen. We don't know yet. The Dolphins signed Trent Sheffield a 1-year contract. He, former 49er, and one of the 49er coaches is now the 49er offensive coordinator is now the head coach of the Dolphins. It's a good signing I guess. The Commanders have signed Andrew Norwell. Not the same player he once was, but still a really good football player. So I do like the signing. Jets have signed Jacob Martin to a 3-year, $13.5 million contract. A good signing. Not a great signing, but a good signing. The Bills have released wide receiver Cole Beasley. The Steelers have released linebacker Joe Schobert. Packers poached Bears punter Pat O'Donnell for a 2-year, $4 million contract, $1.6 million guaranteed. Bucks restructure Mike Evans' contract, creating cap room. The Falcons signed Casey Hayward to a 2-year, $11 million contract. The Cowboys decided to release Collins. He, as we said, signs with the Bengals, and the Rams signed Allen Robinson to a 3-year, $45 million contract. Now, I'm going to put this down because this is a true Cowboy moment here. Stephen Jones' ineptitude of the free agency period. I was listening when the Cowboys have issues in terms of their free agency. They don't get free agents at all. And when they do, they're cheap 1-year, 2-year contracts. The Cowboys said all year long, Michael Gallup is a priority. Randy Gregory is the priority. Well, what happened? When the priority came around, they didn't get it done. Now, blame who you want. Blame exactly who you want. You want to blame Steven, blame Steve. You want to blame the Joneses, blame Joneses. If you want to blame Gregory, blame Randy Gregory. If you want to blame his agent, blame his agent. Because this whole thing, the whole contract that Randy Gregory got, similar contract, exact same contract that the Cowboys would have gave him, except the Cowboys in their contracts put, instead of the CBA has, if you are suspended for violating the drug policy, the team could void their contract and not pay you. The Cowboys have in their contracts, however, also if you are fined, they could void it. Not saying they do, because Randy has been suspended and fined multiple times, but haven't voided his contract. But the fact that he's like, this was never in my contract before, which it was, because Randy, through college, had this issue. The Cowboys have always had it in his contract, his rookie contract, his tendered contract, now in this contract, and he just decided no. They operated in bad faith. I blame Jerry and I blame Steven for operating in bad faith, and the Cowboys fans for being disloyal. I don't agree with that. That is taking too many shots at people who don't deserve the shot. If you want to blame someone, blame Steven if you want to. If you're on Randy Gregory's side. If you're on the Cowboy side, then you can blame Gregory's agent for not doing what he was supposed to do. But whoever you blame, Stephen Jones has a problem with free agency. He doesn't get the top guys that he should get. He didn't go after Von Miller. There was mutual interest, supposedly, or doing their due diligence is what they usually say. They didn't sign him. Not just they didn't sign him, they didn't give him an offer, a contract. They didn't do anything. They lost Za'Darius Smith the first time because they weren't confident in his back injury that he ended up coming back and playing in the playoff game, and he played pretty well. He ended up having a sack in the playoff game. They didn't want to do that. But then, due to the fact that he didn't sign with the Ravens, now they're really making a push for it. A decision that I thought would be automatic, they would sign Jerron Kearse. They haven't done that yet either. They haven't signed Bobby Wagner yet. He's still out there. Tyrann Mathieu's still out there. They're not signing anyone but their own guys. They've signed Jake McQuaid. They've signed Dorrance Armstrong. But that's all they've been doing. Signing their own guys. They signed Leighton Vander Esch, but they've only signed their own guys. They haven't, until Friday, they hadn't signed anybody outside the organization. They signed Dante Fowler and James Washington, which I like James Washington. I said he was going to probably be a Cowboy somehow. In my mind, that's what I was thinking, and now he is. Dante Fowler, former Dan Quinn guy, that seemed logical. But it took them to a Friday. They were the last team throughout free agency to sign a player not on their team the year prior. This can't happen all the time. And I was telling my family this. I said, Jerry knows what he has to do. He just won't do it. He knows that if this happens again, he just have to take he'll have to take away the control from Steven. Because Jerry's way of doing it won Super Bowls. Not to say it was working the last couple years, but he won Super Bowls. And they called him Wildcatting Jerry, which is an oil term. It means aggressively digging, aggressively paying and overpaying for things. If you believe there's value. That's what the Cowboys were doing. That's what Jerry Jones had. When he gave it to Stephen Jones about 10 years ago, Stephen Jones is the complete opposite. Pay your own guys, draft your own guys. And it's aggravating because, as one person said on Twitter, and another person said on the video, similar thing, it's like the Cowboys do not do all three facets. They don't bring in free agents. They don't trade for anybody. They draft really well, but they don't sign free agents and they don't trade for anybody. That's the problem with the Cowboys. And I completely agree with that. They don't sign top-notch free agents. They don't trade for top-notch guys. They only sign their guys. And then, when they don't like the guy, like the Lyle Collins, they said they were going to release him if there was no trade partner. Well, that's what happened. They weren't going to get a trade partner because who's going to pay for that kind of a trade if they like, oh, I can get him on the cheap if they just release him. I just have to wait. Same thing with Amari Cooper. They said, oh, we're probably going to release Amari Cooper. So when they made the trade, they got little to nothing in return. Same thing. That's the problem. The Cowboys don't trade well, and they don't sign top-notch free agents. They draft extremely well, but that's not going to get you good right away. You want to win, you got to win now. You can't wait anymore. And I think if the Cowboys don't do it, and they don't find a way to get some guys, then here's what the Cowboys got to do. They got to sign. If it happens again, I think Jerry should take away the control from Steven. Fire him from his position. He won't do it, but that's what I think he should do. And maybe he takes back control, or maybe he gives it to someone else. Whatever he has to do, Stephen Jones should not have it. Whatever happens, it has to happen quickly if you're the Cowboys. Sign some guys, sign some top free agents. Don't care how expensive the contract is. Just do it so you make your team really good. And because I don't, as a Cowboys fan, I don't want my team to become the New York Knicks of football. We need to sign some top-notch free agents, and we need to sign them now.